सारी सृष्टि के मालिक तुम ही हो, सारी सृष्टि की रक्षक तुम ही हो, करते हैं तुझको सादर प्रणाम, गाते हैं तेरे गुणगान.
Welcome to this second Climate Pollinator webinar. We're delighted that you have joined us and look forward to this hour hearing stories about the church engaging in climate change. My name is Doug Graber Neufeld. I am the chair of the Creation Care Task Force of Mennonite World Conference. And this webinar is a collaboration between Mennonite World Conference and the Anabaptist Climate Collaborative, which the Creation Care Task Force has a representative from each of the Mennonite World Conference regions. And at this time, I would like to introduce Nindyo Sasongko, who will be moderating the webinar once our presenters start. Nindyo comes from Indonesia and has a history of engaging in multiple ways with creation care. You may have heard his excellent keynote talk at the Assembly in Indonesia, and he is currently at Fordham University in New York City. These stories that we're highlighting originated in a survey project of the Creation Care Task Force and inspired ACC to start the Climate Pollinator project. So I'm happy to introduce also Sierra Ross Ricker, who is the author of the Climate Pollinator stories, and she will be explaining more about that project in a minute. Sierra has extensive experience overseas, is a skilled writer, and was the perfect person to bring this project to fruition. I want to mention several logistical items to pay attention to. We know the stories will prompt questions. There'll be time after the presentations to ask questions, so please save those questions to the end. If you are speaking, it's most helpful if you don't speak too quickly, as this is being translated into Spanish for several of our attendees. And please be aware that we are recording the webinar. It's being live streamed on Facebook, so comments and images from the hour are publicly available. We are using Discord as an online platform for continuing these conversations from the webinars, and you'll see information in the chat box at some point on how to join that. Carla Braun and Prashit Rao are both here handling many of the logistical and technical details of the webinar. And finally, I just want to personally thank the three presenters today. We're truly blessed by your presence and stories, and appreciate you taking some time to share your thoughts. I'll now pass this over to Sierra.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sierra Ross Ricker, and as Doug said, I wrote the Climate Pollinator series last spring. I worked on the project for the Anabaptist Climate Collaborative as part of one of its strategies for addressing climate change, empowering diverse voices. The other two main strategies are developing emerging leaders and building networks around climate action. The Climate Pollinator is a collection of 48 short articles which were originally published as daily Lenten readings and later compiled into a book, which you can find on the ACC website. The stories focus on the questions: how are Anabaptists around the world experiencing climate change, and what are they doing to respond? In this time of climate crisis, we as the Anabaptist Church are discerning our response. We named this project the Climate Pollinator because we think that by sharing stories, we can pollinate each other with new ideas, inspiration, and motivation to take action in our communities. We will be hearing from three storytellers today, and I will introduce each of them before they speak. But first, I'll say a little bit more about the region that we're focusing on today, Asia. A report on the state of the climate in Asia in 2022 by the World Meteorological Organization found that average temperatures in Asia are rising faster than the world average. In addition to increasing heat, extreme weather events and natural disasters are becoming more frequent. Today, we will hear from two speakers in Indonesia, Danang Kristiawan and Johana Christianti, and one in India, Emmanuel Mahendra. For the Climate Pollinator, I also interviewed a third person in Indonesia, someone in Nepal, and someone from the United States serving in Cambodia through MCC. The experiences that they shared with me around climate change varied greatly, with those in more rural settings experiencing the most immediate impacts on their daily lives from drought, storms, and flooding. Today's three presenters come from urban contexts where the effects from climate change are often not felt as acutely. In my interviews, our speakers for today grappled with systemic problems like deforestation, pollution, plastic waste, and unsustainable energy use. They approach these issues from different angles: personal action, policy and government, and the church, and we'll hear more about these approaches soon. One thing the three presenters share is a concern over the lack of climate action in their communities. So let's hear about their ideas for changing this.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nindyo Sasongko, Asia representative in the Climate Care Task Force, and currently I am in New York City for pursuing my doctorate in Christian theology. I will be hosting this second webinar of Climate Pollinators, Asia Focus. We are pleased to have three distinguished guest speakers in our session today. As Doug mentioned earlier, there will be time for all of you to comment and ask questions. Some people, however, may not remember what comes to their minds. So I welcome you to comment or put your questions in the Zoom's chat box. So without further ado, I will hand the time over to my good friend and respected pastor of GITJ, Danang Kristiawan. The topic of his presentation is Eco-Theology Reconciles the Church with Nature. Mas Danang, you have 10 minutes for your presentation, and let all of us give our warmest welcome to Pastor Danang Kristiawan.
Thank you, Mas Nindyo. Thank you for this opportunity to share with all of you. Regarding ecological issue in the Indonesian context, it's very important to link ecology with religions and culture, intercultural and interfaith justice. So I will focus for my sharing a story in this issue, and then bring it to ecological and church and nature. I have a 4 point that I want to share. First, problem ecology invites religions to meet, to dialogue and act together. There is a story. In 2003, the government planned to build a nuclear power plant in Jepara. Indeed, nuclear power plant may be more environmentally friendly than coal, but the risks are also very large. Many people don't trust the government that has a lot of corruption, so building a nuclear power plant is very risky. This invites religions in Jepara, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, and also local religions to meet, dialogue, and act together to carry out non-violent demonstration. Number 2, interreligious dialogue can strengthen the theological commitment to eco-justice and peace. This dialogue mutually enrich our theological understanding as well as corrects bias in our theology. In 2016, we invite young religious leaders around Muria Mount to meet, to stay together for 3 days in the Islamic boarding school and reflect theologically on our responsibility towards the environment. We call that an interfaith dialogue for the integrity of creation. In Christianity and Islam, stewardship theology is more prominent, but Buddhism, Hinduism, and indigenous religion place great emphasis on the integration of the cosmos. From this dialogue, Christianity can learn to shift the construction of ecotheology from anthropocentric to more cosmocentric. We can construct ecotheology starting from the concept of cosmic Christ from Colossians 1, verse 16 to 17, that everything was created in him, by him, and for him. All things are in him. From the perspective of indigenous religions, all things are brothers, connected to one another in Christ. Number 3, Mennonite ecotheology can appreciate local spirituality. This I discovered while researching agricultural in Mennonite colony in Margorejo in Java. This research can be read in the Journal of Mennonite Studies. Maybe I can write the link in the comment chat. There is a group of Mennonite farmers who are very friendly with nature. They say that there is an emotional connection between human and nature. We need to harmonize with nature. Nature has feelings just like us. If we are friendly with nature, nature can also be friendly with us. But nature can be uncomfortable too, and so can be. This is a harmonious life. Number 4, we need to respond to the ecological issue from the perspective of the Mennonite faith. Maybe 2 years ago, we have a discussion that we need to have ecological discipleship and ecological church discipline. Church discipline is a feature of Mennonite history. We need to redefine this. Ecological church discipline is community effort to remind and admonish one another to live in ecological truth. In ecological discipline, we are called to an ecological conversion that encourages us to change and have preferential option for the sustainability of creation and lifestyle. Sometimes ecological disciplines looks like punishment, in which we punish ourselves as our responsibility for our contribution to environmental damage. The punishment was in the form of self-financing to be used to support environmental restoration action. Okay, Mas Nindyo, I think I will stop talking and then we have more time to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mas Danang. So we will continue our conversation with Pastor Danang later on, but let us move forward to our second presenters, who is Emmanuel Mahendra. So Emmanuel Mahendra is joining us from Dhammatari, India, and he will share his frustration, but also his work to offer solution in the midst of extreme heat. And the title of his presentation is Extreme Heat and LEDs. So let us listen to his stories. And Mahendra, the time is yours now. You have 10 minutes for your presentation.
Praise the Lord. My name is Emmanuel. I am from India. I work in Mennonite Church in India office. My topic is about LEDs. LEDs, how to impact the LEDs in our daily life. So before I start, there's one word from the Bible I always remember, that is, God is creator and the provider. Before I am going to start, I would like to thank MCC and this wing to giving me this opportunity to share my experience and share my what I feel I would like to read the Bible verse that is from Psalm 104. God is creator and provider, the Genesis. And then let there be lighted, and there was light. Then my topic is LED using, and then it's a very homely based our day-to-day life. We are using light and to light our houses and rooms and gardens and the streets. Everywhere you can see the lights are everywhere. And but my topic is like using LEDs, how LEDs impact in our daily life. So in regular bulbs, like regular bulbs with like 100 watt or more than 100 watts, we are little upgrades now these days. We are using CFL bulbs. CFL is like they're consuming more power than the regular bulb. But durable, CFLs are very durable and long lasting, and they're taking less energy from electricity. Okay, so using LED bulbs are like using saving energy from the power. Okay, so it is not a huge thing to using LED bulbs in our room, because when using 100 watt bulb and you can see brightness, but now CFLs are very good. Also, the CFLs saving your energy, also saving your money. It's like a budget friendly also. In my personal practice, we replace all the regular bulbs, which is like 100 watts, and now I'm using 20 or 30 watts, or 20 or 10 watts only. And there's no difference between the 100 watts and 10 watts. So we can start using and replacing all the bulbs. Okay. Okay. So I summarized my topic in 5 points. Which is first one, stop using. Actually, basically my topic is using LED, but also I'm trying to focus on how to save the energy, because saving energy is also our priority to save nature. So continuously using a power supply on your laptop, on your charger or your phone, you can plug it out and switch it out if you're not using. And the other thing is you can use LED bulb and also use the sensors. When you enter your bathroom or into your room, the lights will on automatically, and then if you're not in the room, they cut the power, and technically it saves the energy. And the third is you can also use solar panels, solar generated light to save energy. Through this all things, we can save the energies, and basically the LED saves our natural resources, because most of the energy or electricity generated by the using coals, and the coals are very limited natural resources, and then these resources is not going to last for many years. So we have to using think about the using less power. So that is like some alternative to use some other alternate, and the LEDs are very good option now this time. And I'm also going to focus about India, because I live in the parts of India where electricity is very less. Sometimes it's always gone, and then they have also problem with they have like less power, low power cuts. So if you're using 100 watt bulb and then you have power cut, you can see like 50% your bulb or lighting. But if you're using the CFL, then it will be like 100%. There's no big difference between you're going to consume less, and then power is like the same. And also we can practice with replacing things with the LED, because many street lights and the garden lights are these days also they have like a regular bulb. They are using 100 watts and 100 watts and more than 100 watts. In my office also we have to replace all 50 watt bulbs with the 30 watts or also 10 watts also. So which is no difference, and we are saving money because the electricity is the bills are coming very less now. Okay, I know it's not very hard or not very tough task to do it, but we need to practice. We need to aware people to using LEDs compared in the regular bulb or CSL. I know it will happen in day, but I believe it will be happen one day. And yeah, I believe our youth and other people are aware, our the family members and our society using more and more vehicles because it's eco-friendly and also budget-friendly too. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Brother Mahendra. So now we come to our third and our last speaker, Johana Christianti. She studied law and is now pursuing a graduate degree in law. And she is passionate in the issues of mass deforestation and the problems of unsustainable energy sources. And the topic of her presentation is the future of environmental policy. So without further ado, I will turn the time over now to Johana, and you have 10 minutes for your presentation.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Johana, and it is such an honor for me to be here to share with all of you for today's Climate Pollinator webinar. I was an alumnus of Yemen, serving in Burkina Faso last year, and I had the chance to talk with Sierra a few months ago, since I shared a story from Indonesia about the future of environmental policy, where I talk about the importance of government regulation in changing how we use natural resources as energy. Well, please bear in mind, I'm not an expert. However, I'm a young woman who concerned about the environment. Well, the use of natural resources could mean a lot, one of which is about generating energy. And I shared this in the article that Indonesia relies on fossil fuels for 60% of its energy. This one is also the reasons for deforestation and also pollution. And recently, air pollution in Jakarta became a headline for being the 5th worst polluted city, according to the Air Quality Index, with particulate matter 2.5 concentration, which is currently 14 times the WHO annual air quality guideline value. And this causes problems, and well, the cause of it is because of the use of fossil fuels and unclean energy. According to the Minister of Environment and Forestry, the transportation sector contributes to 44% of fuel use in Jakarta, which is very big. And you can guess the impact. Many are infected with diseases and also acid rain, plant growth disorders, and of course, climate change. And what did the government do to solve this problem? They tried to find ways that is quick to solve that problem, ranging from emission testing of private vehicles, implementing work from home policy for employees within the Jakarta, watering the streets, and then stopping the activities for of 4 companies accused of being the cause of the air pollution, conducting weather modification to make rain, etc. and etc. However, this is only temporary measure, and we need something that is permanent to solve this problem. And how do we stop this? I believe that the government and other legal entities can make big difference in tackling pollution and climate change. Regulation and policies are legally binding for everyone, and they can force changes in the use of energy. I also think that the legal instruments, with this legal instrument, the government can prevent overexploitation on our nature and also depletion of our natural resources. And this is also important to use policy, because policy can also change behaviors of our citizens for people around us. Because we find ourselves contributing to climate change. Therefore, policy can be the instrument to help change the way we live. So, slowly and surely, Indonesia is taking steps to reduce its peak greenhouse gas emission and accelerating the share of new renewable energy and achieving net zero emission by 2050. Indonesia just last year received $20 billion of just energy transition partnership to assist with climate financing for developing countries, particularly to transition energy generation away from fossil fuels. And as a follow-up for that agreement of that partnership, they plan on the development of clean energy, accelerating of early retirement of coal-fired power plants, and energy efficiency improvement programs, as well as the development of supporting industries for renewable energy. And in 2022, new and renewable energy reached 14%, increasing from 2021 with 13% of new and renewable energy. Indonesia is very beautiful and very rich with natural resources. And Indonesia has considerable renewable energy potential, like solar energy, wind energy, biomass, etc. However, I think the utilization of the renewable energy in Indonesia is still underdeveloped. For example, with only 17 geothermal power plants are scattered and actively operating in Indonesia, I think there are many other locations that can be utilized for geothermal power plant. With 129 active volcanoes and 500 inactive volcanoes, we can use that to create geothermal power plant. And the intensity of sunlight in Indonesia can also provide option for the citizen to use solar panels for their own electricity. And for doing that, we have to make solar panels accessible and also relatively affordable. However, this is not the case. But seeing from my experience in Burkina Faso when I was serving, it is common to have solar panels at home in Burkina Faso to be the source of electricity. This means that it is possible to make solar panels accessible and affordable. This is still not the case in Indonesia, and I think we need to help. The government needs to change this in order to change the world. And how do we respond to this progress? We can start with ourselves and our environment. We can use our cars and motorcycles by limiting them and start using public transportation. We also can change our behavior by doing things that is wise, like bringing our own bags while shopping, recycling, etc. And then the church can also do the same by initiating programs to reduce the use of energy, recycling kitchen waste, and etc. Lastly, I want to share a passage from the Bible, Genesis 1, verse 28. Be fruitful and increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. This is humankind's first responsibility, to fill up the earth with people and to care for the earth as God's representative. And it is our duty, and we must go oblige to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Johana, and thank you all presentations that we have listened to. So we are moving to our conversation, and we have 20 minutes for conversation. So I will invite all of you to open your mic and comment or ask questions if you like, or you could also put in the chat box. So please feel free to do so. But let me kick off with asking questions to our presenters, if I may. We have quite a variety and such a rich topics in this webinar. And let me ask you, my friends, Danang, Mahendra, and Johana, are you hopeful that change will take place? That's my question. So I want to deepen that questions into this. What was the most inspiring or hopeful thing about what you are doing right now? Mas Danang is engaged in intercultural and interreligious engagements. Are you hopeful that you can work with different communities, or are there challenges that you are facing? And also to my brother Mahendra, are you hopeful that LEDs can promise better future for our environment and our church, our Mennonite churches? And what would you suggest? And did you find any challenge when you proposing that? And for Johana, of course, are you hopeful that policy can be made in Indonesia? So I don't know who will start for responding these questions. If I may ask, what about Mas Danang first? Brother Danang.
Okay, thank you, Mas Nindyo. I believe that all religious, all religions and also cultural have very, very good value and have responsibility about our situation, about our climate and our environmental issue. And they have many value, many spiritual resource that we need to make connection. We need to engage one another, and we need to learn. And I think this is very promising for us, because when we talk about religions, about our faiths, and we just talk with ourselves, I think we will have very narrow perspective. But if we talk together about our issue, our same issue, our basic issue, and then we talk this issue from our perspective, we can contribute, but also we can learn from other perspective, and it will deepen our understanding, and we can be criticized by other perspective also. So we can clean our bias that before we don't recognize. So I think I very helpful that it will work. So the church need to open not only for the other religions and culture, but also all people that want to have a good living in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Mas Danang. Emmanuel or Johana?
Any developing country right now, because we are trying to save our natural resources, coal and the seas and the other sources like water and everything. And one of the depending source is coal and the the nuclear power. So through the LEDs, I thought that the LEDs are very substitute for the high voltage bulbs, and using regular bulbs more heat, they generate more heat, and also the problem with the ecosystem, because using the 100-watt bulb is not good for the skin, or also not good for the eyes here. And but using a LED bulb are very good for the dust handling. Also, it is good for the ecosystem, because they are taking very less energy. So it will technically you are saving money. Also, you are saving environment too. I know I'm from India, and then some parts of the India is unreached by the roads and lights, and they have lights in some places, but they also have problem with the low voltage. And if you're using a 100-watt any bulb, regular bulb, they are not lighted. They are lighted like just a zero bulb. So in place of using a regular bulb, if you use a LED bulb, they will lightning it, and then it is also using a 100-watt, you can light it 10 bulbs in place of one regular bulb in 100-watt. So that kind of things are I'm going to it's like my dream to see every houses are lighted with the light, and also save environment. Also, it's like a need to practice everyone to reflecting things and try to save the system. Like, okay, we are used to lightning. Even today in India we celebrate Diwali. That's like a festival like Christmas. We celebrate Christmas, and the Hindu people they celebrate Diwali. And this time they bulb lighting for decoration and everything, and they are using a single day, lighting everywhere. I know we are also using different time, but use LED. LEDs are very good, and they are consuming less power. So this kind of practice we can change. We can see the change. It's just a small step for the bigger picture, I thought. And I know it will not happen today, but it will happen in one day. But without our practice, without our commitment for that, we are not going to achieve that aim. That is our responsibility, because we are the responsible person in our society, in our church, in our country. We are going to start from us. And I do the same thing. That is, I write my article in that book. That is, I change regular bulbs from our office, because our office and campus is a little big, and we have using lots of bulbs in our office room and outside and garden area everywhere. And we change. Nobody knows. The power is less, but it seems the same, because previously we using a 60-watt bulb on the outer area. Now we replaced with the CFL LED, and now it's 30 watts. There is no change. Lighting is the same. We save the energy and we save money, because if you're using like a lot of power, your electricity bill is more higher than your budget. But now it's also in control. Also on my focus on using less power on our things like electronic devices. We using a laptop and mobile phone all the time. It's connected, especially the laptop. They are connected with the power. They using power. This also not affect also your battery, but also they are taking energy from the source. Just when you need, just plug it. So that needs kind of practice in our daily life to change. If you want to see the change, you can start today. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Brother Emmanuel Mahendra. Thank you. And now let's turn to Johana. Are you hopeful?
So, are we hopeful about whether the policy will happen or not, especially in my country? I feel like I'm hopeful about it because, well, generally speaking, Indonesia have so many pressure from the UN, United Nations, to change the use of fossil fuel and to make our country more, how do I say this? Like using more clean energy. And then there are also pressures from the citizen welfare because the recent headline, the recent pollution made many people in Jakarta sick, have respiratory disease. And also I think there are also pressure from the climate change that is currently happening around us, and I think the government understand that very thoroughly, and I think they will have the commitment and is having the commitment to change the policy to make it better for our future. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Friends, we still have 5 minutes. If you want to comment or ask questions to our presenters, please feel free to open your mic or put your question in the chat box. You can say it in English or in Spanish. We have also Spanish interpreters here.
Hello.
Yes.
Can I ask? Okay, so my
Sure.
question is for Johana. What kind of policy your government is going to decide or they're going to pass as a right? Do you understand what kind of policy?
What kind of policy that your government?
The Indonesian government has decided for the climate change or for the pollution or something like that.
I'm not sure I understand it. Yeah.
Okay. There should be 2 questions. What kind of policy that you are hoping your government is doing, and the second, what has been done? Probably, if I may interpret Brother Mahendra's question, what have been done by the government, and what has not been done, and they are still doing, or they are not doing anything, in your opinion, in your observation.
Okay. From my observation, the policy that has been made is about the planning of changing the source of energy from the fossil fuels to the more cleaner energy. Like, for example, with the partnership that I talk about, the Just Energy Transition Partnership. Currently, Indonesia is trying to make plans on how to actually use the money given with this partnership in order to make, to change the source of energy from the fossil fuel to the cleaner one, the new renewable energy. And then, well, truthfully, I haven't seen the regulation about it, but I believe that there will be progress soon. Soon is a very general word, not sure when, but I think that they are still planning on doing it. And for making policy in Indonesia, it is quite tricky. It is a long process. Therefore, we are not hopeful of a very soon progress about policy, especially in environmental policy. However, I believe in 5 years we will see new regulation, new policy about environment. That's it.
That being said, are you wishing or are you aspiring to be a lawmaker then? All right. Any other questions from all of you? We still have 2 minutes.
I want to congratulate three presenters for their viewpoints, and almost they have covered an area which was needed attention. And one thing I would like to comment on that my watchword is education brings change. Okay, education brings change. So from active participation to bring change, Christian education or education in the church is a very important factor. So the curriculum is one of the important things which should be given priority and commitment of time, and a curriculum based on eco concerns should be prepared. I have been in theological circle for more than 35 years. We have been hearing theology, but no active participation how to bring those changes. And India is a place where Mennonites are minority, though there are lots of Christians. But my point is that education is one of the arena through which we can bring change, and curriculum for all age groups. Addressing that issue from all age group perspective, that will bring a change. Another thing is cooperation with the government. State-wise, there are people among Christians who are in the government, okay, and the policy making. So they need to collaborate with the government and also introduce the programs in the churches. I mean, collaborate with the government, okay, that is must. And our conference heads are responsible people to see that the activities are also implemented in the church, through the congregation, and also taking efforts to bring more changes in the state while they have that opportunity to speak with the government and do something for the eco change or issues or problems related to ecology. So activity oriented or participation in activities of the church in these two areas, we can do that. There are lots of people, Christian, who are in the legislative assembly. They need to also raise this issue very prominently, and also at the same time request the church to be very active, okay. And I have been the president for the TAVI, Theologically Trained Anabaptist Women in India. And long back in 2017, we have done some kind of activities for creation care, okay, planting the plants and educating children, something like that has been done. But I think I confess it, we have not continued with that kind of activities. We need to, with this presentation, I think we need to become very, very conscious about these issues and do something. Even the theologically trained women of our Mennonite circle in India need to take it very seriously and do something for the churches, or encourage the churches in our own constituency to bring change and collaborate with the government and also God's concern for creation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rachel Back. We have 3 points very important from you. First, education and curriculum, and then engagement, cooperation with the government, but also activity, continuing activity that can be done by the churches. Very, very important points. But however, unfortunately, time limits us. We all have time limit now. So I think we have to stop our webinar right now. But again, thank you so very much for our 3 distinguished, very powerful, inspiring presenters. And thank you for sharing for what you have been done and what you are doing. Thank you for your inspirations to all of us. And my friends, if you want to continue your conversation, you can stay on Zoom and have more relaxed and informal conversations with our friends. But we can stop our Zoom meeting webinar right now, and we can discuss that with our presenters, shall we? So, blessing to you all, and thank you for joining us. Again, let us give our warm applause to our 3 presenters. Thank you.